You know what nobody tells you about blackouts? The stuff that saves you isn't the expensive tactical gear or the fancy generator. It's the cheap, overlooked items sitting on dollar store shelves right now for a buck each. I'm talking about real survival tools that'll keep your family warm, fed, and safe when the grid goes down. And here's the thing, most people walk right past them without a second thought. I've been prepping since 2012, and I've learned the hard way that survival isn't about spending hundreds of dollars. It's about knowing what actually works. So today, I'm breaking down the top 11 blackout essentials you can grab at the dollar store. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll be rethinking everything you thought you knew about emergency preparedness. Let's get into it. Number 11, batteries. And I'm starting here because without batteries, almost everything else on this list becomes useless. Your flashlights die, your radio goes silent, even basic medical devices like glucose monitors stop working. The power goes out, and suddenly that drawer full of dead batteries you've been meaning to replace becomes your biggest regret. Dollar stores carry AA, AAA, and sometimes even D batteries. Now look, they're not name brand premium cells, but here's the truth. In a blackout, a dollar store battery will run your flashlight just as well as one that costs 3 times as much. According to FEMA, and this shocked me when I first read it, 60% of American households don't have enough spare batteries to get through a 3-day blackout. 3 days! That's the baseline recommendation from the Department of Homeland Security, and most families can't even hit that mark. Why does that matter? Because during a blackout, your battery-powered radio isn't just entertainment, it's your lifeline to weather alerts, evacuation orders, and emergency broadcasts. Studies show that having access to information during disasters can cut your survival risks in half. In half! Without batteries, you're cut off completely. Here's something else most people don't think about. Batteries have massive barter value. After Hurricane Katrina, survivors reported trading batteries for food, bottled water, even medications. A single pack of AA's became worth its weight in gold because everyone needed them and nobody had extras. When I prep my own kits, I buy batteries by the dozen from the dollar store. For 10 bucks, I can walk out with enough power to keep my essential devices running for weeks. And here's a pro tip that'll save you headaches later. Standardize your gear. Make sure most of your survival tools run on either AA or AAA batteries. Don't mix it up with a bunch of odd sizes you have to track separately. Keep it simple. Stock what you use. Back in 2014, I learned this lesson during an ice storm that knocked out power to our neighborhood for 5 days. I had flashlights, sure, but they all took different battery types. I spent the first night playing battery roulette in the dark, trying to figure out what went where. Not fun. Now, everything in my blackout kit runs on AAs, and I keep at least 3 dozen spares rotating through. Last thing. Dollar store batteries typically have a shelf life of about 5 to 7 years if stored properly. Keep them in a cool, dry place and check the expiration dates when you buy. For $1 per pack, this is the easiest, most fundamental prep you can make. Don't overthink it, just buy them. When the lights go out and you're the only house on the block with working flashlights and radios, you'll understand why batteries are number 11 on this list. They're not glamorous, but they're essential. Number 10, manual can openers. This is the prep people always forget until they're staring at a cabinet full of canned food with no way to open it. It sounds almost comical until you're living it. You've got soup, chili, beans, vegetables, all shelf-stable, all ready to eat, and they might as well be welded shut. Every major blackout, from the Texas freeze in 2021 to the aftermath of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, reports came flooding in about people with food but no tools to access it. A manual can opener solves that problem instantly, and the dollar store version works just fine. No batteries, no electricity, just gears and a handle. Some survivalists will tell you that you can open cans with a knife or by rubbing them on concrete, and sure, technically you can, but that's also a fantastic way to slice your hand open or waste precious calories struggling with sheet metal. According to the CDC, even minor cuts can develop into serious infections within 48 to 72 hours if left untreated. And during a blackout, when hospitals are overwhelmed or inaccessible, a simple cut becomes a major problem. The dollar store can opener not only protects your hands, it also preserves your energy. Wrestling with cans burns time and calories you can't afford to waste when you're already stressed and running on limited resources. Here's the value proposition. One twist of that crank gives you instant access to anywhere from 500 to 2,000 calories of nutrition, depending on what you're opening. Canned goods are survival gold because they're cheap, they last for years, and they require 0 refrigeration. But without a can opener, they're just expensive paperweights. I keep 2 in my blackout kit. One is my primary tool, one is backup. Why 2?
because Murphy's Law is real, and the day your only can opener breaks is the day you'll need it most. And here's a bonus angle most people never consider. In a prolonged blackout scenario where neighbors are struggling, being the person with a working can opener makes you incredibly valuable. It's not just about your own food, it's about community resilience. You become the guy people come to for help, and that builds goodwill and trust when everything else is falling apart. For $1, a manual can opener is quite possibly the best insurance policy against hunger and frustration you'll ever buy. Don't skip it.
Number 9, aluminum foil. Most people see aluminum foil as something you wrap leftovers in, but in a blackout, this shiny roll transforms into one of the most versatile survival tools you can own. Think about what foil actually is. It's heat resistant, waterproof, reflective, lightweight, and endlessly malleable. You can wrap food in it and cook directly over an open fire or hot coals when your stove is dead. You can line cardboard boxes with foil to create a makeshift solar oven that'll reach 200 degrees Fahrenheit on a sunny day. That's hot enough to cook rice, heat soup, or sterilize water. I tested this myself on a camping trip last summer, and I was genuinely surprised at how effective it was. You can also use aluminum foil to reflect light. Take a candle or a small lantern, place it near a wall, and set up a foil sheet behind it as a reflector. You'll effectively double the brightness in that room without using extra batteries or fuel. It's a simple physics trick that makes a huge difference when you're rationing light sources. But here's where foil becomes genuinely life-saving. It works as an emergency signal device. If you're stranded without power or communication, you can hang strips of foil outside where they'll catch sunlight and create flashes visible for miles. Emergency rescue services have confirmed spotting improvised foil signals during search and recovery operations. It's not ideal, but it works. A standard roll at the dollar store gives you 25 to 30 feet of this miracle material. That's enough to wrap dozens of meals, create multiple light reflectors, and still have material left over for insulating containers or reflecting heat back toward your body. Studies show that aluminum foil can reduce radiant heat loss by up to 77%, which is exactly why professional survival blankets use metallicized coatings. So yes, that dollar roll sitting on the shelf has legitimate life or death applications. Here's what I do. I keep at least 3 rolls in my blackout supplies. One for cooking, one for light and heat management, one for emergency signaling or miscellaneous uses. For $3, you get an item that NASA literally trusted to save astronauts' lives during the Apollo 13 mission. If it's good enough for space, it's good enough for your blackout kit. Don't walk past the foil aisle. This stuff is survival gold wrapped in a cardboard tube.
Number 8. Lighters and matches. When the power dies, your ability to create fire becomes absolutely non-negotiable. Sure, flashlights give you light and glow sticks work for a while, but fire is primal. It provides light, heat, and the ability to cook food or boil water. The dollar store usually sells multi-packs of disposable lighters and books of matches, and both are worth buying in serious bulk. Let me break down why this matters so much. After major storms, one of the first problems people face is the inability to heat food or purify water. That's where your dollar store lighter becomes genuinely priceless. A single disposable lighter can give you around 3,000 strikes before it runs dry. Matches, if stored properly in a waterproof container, don't fail, and a typical book contains anywhere from 30 to 50 strikes. Buy 10 books and you've got 500 fires waiting to happen. Together, lighters and matches give you redundancy, which is the golden rule of prepping. Never rely on a single method for anything critical. But fire does more than just heat and light. It provides psychological relief that's hard to overstate. Research into disaster psychology consistently shows that people gathered around a flame feel calmer, more secure, and more connected. There's something deeply human about fire that cuts through panic and fear. It reminds us we're still in control. Beyond the mental aspect, fire solves practical problems. You can light candles to extend your light sources. You can ignite a charcoal grill to cook food outside. You can even burn trash if sanitation becomes an issue and you need to reduce waste volume. And let's talk about barter value again. In a prolonged crisis, a working lighter could be worth more than cash to someone who's freezing in the dark. I remember reading accounts from the 2003 Northeast blackout, which affected 50 million people across the US and Canada. Within hours, stores had completely sold out of fire-starting supplies. Lighters, matches, candles, gone. People were desperate, and the ones who'd prepared ahead of time had options. The ones who hadn't were stuck. The dollar store makes it absurdly easy to build redundancy without spending much. For under $5, you can walk out with enough lighters and matches to keep your household going through weeks of blackout conditions. Small investment, massive return. I keep a Ziploc bag in my kit with 10 lighters and 15 books of matches, all stored in a waterproof container. That bag has been sitting there for 3 years, untouched, just waiting. And honestly, that's exactly how I want it. But the day I need it, I'll be ready. You should be too.
Number 7. Glow sticks. At first glance, these look like toys kids wave around at concerts. But in a survival context, glow sticks are absolute game changers. During a blackout, they offer a safe, completely non-flammable light source that lasts anywhere from 8 to 12 hours per stick. That's one full night of illumination, without worrying about battery drain, fire hazards, or suffocating candle smoke. Fire departments across the United States actually recommend glow sticks as part of home emergency kits because they don't pose the risk of starting house fires, which spike dramatically during blackouts when people resort to candles, propane heaters, or unsafe makeshift stoves. And here's the psychological component that nobody talks about. Darkness causes genuine panic. A study published in the Environmental Psychology Journal found that people become disoriented, anxious, and significantly more accident-prone after just 30 minutes in complete darkness. Your brain starts playing tricks on you. Every sound becomes a threat. Every shadow feels menacing. But crack open a glow stick, hang it in the room, and suddenly your space feels manageable again. That soft chemical glow creates just enough light to navigate safely and maintain your sense of security. Beyond mood management, glow sticks are incredibly tactical. You can tie one to a rope and use it to mark safe paths through a dark house. You can drop one in a toilet bowl so you can actually see what you're doing if the plumbing still works, but the lights don't. You can hang them on door handles so you don't trip over furniture or walk into walls. They also work as silent communication tools. Use different color glow sticks to create a simple code. Green means everything's okay. Red means stay away or danger. Yellow means we need help. You can signal family members across a dark house without yelling and potentially alerting others to your presence. In hurricane-prone areas, people buy glow sticks in bulk before storms hit because they've learned the hard way how valuable they are. The beauty of the dollar store is you can typically get a pack of 2 to 4 glow sticks for a single dollar. That means for the cost of a fast food burger, you can keep multiple rooms safely glowing through the night. I keep about 20 glow sticks in my kit, stored in a dark, cool place so they don't degrade. When you need light but can't risk fire or don't want to drain batteries, glow sticks are your answer. They're lightweight, they never fail unless you break them early, and they provide exactly the kind of calm, steady illumination that keeps panic at bay. For $1, you get peace of mind wrapped in a plastic tube. That's a trade I'll make every single time. Number 6. Flashlights. Let's be honest, when the power goes out, the very first thing everyone panics about is light. Nobody wants to sit in complete darkness, stumbling around blindly, tripping over furniture, feeling helpless. The good news is dollar stores actually carry small LED flashlights that work surprisingly well. They're not tactical grade, they won't blind an attacker or double as a weapon, but for basic illumination during a blackout, they're absolutely solid. Most run on AA or AAA batteries, which you can grab right there in the same trip. Here's why you shouldn't underestimate these cheap flashlights. LED technology has become so efficient that even a $1 flashlight can run for 12 to 20 hours straight on a pair of batteries. That's long enough to get you through multiple nights of darkness before you even think about swapping them out. According to the Department of Energy, the average household blackout in the United States lasts about 3.5 hours. But during major storms or grid failures, outages can drag on for a week or more. Imagine going 7 nights without light unless you've prepared ahead of time. Flashlights also serve purposes beyond just seeing where you're going. You can use them to signal neighbors or emergency responders. You can flash SOS in Morse code if you're in genuine trouble. You can simply keep one moving around your property at night to discourage potential looters who might think your house is abandoned. A beam of light moving behind windows sends a clear message: someone's home, someone's awake, and someone's paying attention. Pro tip from my own experience: buy at least 3 flashlights. One for the bathroom, one for the kitchen, one for your bedside table. Light equals safety, plain and simple. And if you really want to stretch your survival budget, look for those mini clip-on book lights some dollar stores carry.
They might look like toys, but they use very little energy, and they're perfect for close-up tasks like reading instructions, checking medical supplies, or cooking when the grid is down. I learned back in 2016 during a summer storm that knocked out power for 2 days just how much psychological comfort a simple flashlight provides. My kids were scared, my wife was stressed, but having enough light to move around safely, to read bedtime stories, to see each other's faces, that made all the difference. We weren't sitting in terrified darkness. We were inconvenienced, sure, but we were okay. That's the power of preparedness. You remove the fear factor and replace it with calm control. Never underestimate the value of light. It keeps panic from taking over. For $1 per flashlight, this is one of the easiest, most essential preps you can make.
Number 5. Duct tape. If you've been prepping for any length of time, you already know this truth. Duct tape is survival magic in a roll. But most people still don't grasp just how critical it becomes during a blackout. The dollar store version isn't top-tier professional grade, but it'll handle 90% of what you throw at it. And that's more than enough when your windows crack from temperature shifts, your pipes start leaking, or your makeshift shelter needs reinforcement. Here's a fact that blows people's minds. Duct tape was used during the Apollo 13 mission to literally save astronauts from suffocating in space. That's not prepper mythology, it's documented NASA history. And we can buy the same type of problem-solving material for $1 at the corner store. In a blackout, duct tape becomes your go-to tool for rapid repairs. Windows crack from sudden temperature changes? Seal them with duct tape to keep heat in and cold out. Pipes leaking because the pressure changed when the pumps went down? Wrap them tight until you can make a permanent fix. Flashlight battery compartment won't stay closed? Tape it. Tarp tearing at the corner? Reinforce it. The list goes on forever. But duct tape does more than just fix broken things. You can use it to seal drafts around doors and windows, trapping precious warmth inside during winter blackouts. You can reinforce weak points on entry doors if you're worried about security. You can even create waterproof containers by wrapping empty cans or bottles and sealing the tops. And here's something most people never consider. Duct tape works as emergency medical supplies. If you don't have proper medical tape, you can use duct tape to hold gauze in place over a wound. It's not pretty, it's not comfortable, but it works, and it can keep bacteria out until you can get proper treatment. A single roll contains up to 50 yards of material. That translates to dozens of repairs and improvisations during a prolonged grid failure. During Hurricane Sandy, which devastated the Northeast in 2012, stores across New Jersey reported selling out of duct tape within 24 hours of the blackout starting. Why? Because everyone suddenly remembered how essential it was, but only after it was already too late. Don't be that person scrambling in the dark. For $1, you can add one of the most versatile tools on earth to your blackout kit right now. I keep at least 5 rolls in my supplies because I've learned through experience that one roll disappears fast when things go sideways. Duct tape patches problems. It buys you time, it keeps your shelter secure, and your family safe. That's worth way more than $1.
Number 4. Plastic tarps. Here's a hard truth nobody wants to hear. When the grid goes down, your house isn't the impenetrable fortress you think it is. Roof leaks get exposed, windows break, drafts you never noticed suddenly become howling wind tunnels stealing your heat. That's why plastic tarps from the dollar store are an absolute must-have. For $1, you get a sheet of waterproof material that instantly transforms into shelter, insulation, or protection for your supplies. In a blackout caused by severe weather, tarps become your first line of defense. Got a shattered window? Cover it with the tarp and suddenly rain and freezing air stay outside where they belong. Need a dry place to sleep because your roof is leaking? Lay a tarp on the floor and you've got a waterproof barrier. Want to create a warm microclimate inside your living room? String up a tarp with some rope or paracord to make a tent within your house, concentrating body heat into one small survivable space. According to FEMA, one of the most requested items after hurricanes and major storms is plastic sheeting. That's because when power fails, water damage skyrockets, and people desperately scramble to cover openings and protect their belongings. A tarp also works as a massive water collection system. In survival training courses, instructors show how you can angle a tarp to funnel rainwater into buckets or bottles. One good rainstorm during a blackout could provide gallons of water for drinking, cooking, and hygiene, all thanks to a dollar store tarp and a little creativity. And don't overlook the psychological value here. Having a dry, sealed-off area to retreat into during a long blackout keeps morale way higher than you'd expect. When everything feels out of control, having one secure space that's warm and dry gives you a mental anchor. It tells your brain that you're still okay, you're still managing, you're still in control. In extreme scenarios, tarps can even serve as improvised insulation when layered with blankets, or as emergency stretchers if someone gets injured and you need to move them. For $1, you're getting an item that professional emergency response teams depend on during every single disaster operation. So why wouldn't you have the same tool in your kit? Tarps vanish from store shelves almost instantly during weather-related blackouts. Get them now while they're cheap and available, and you'll be way ahead of the panicked crowds fighting over the last few scraps. I keep 3 tarps in different sizes, one small one for quick patches, one medium for general use, one large for creating shelter or collecting water. Total investment, $3. Total peace of mind, priceless.
Number 3. Emergency ponchos. Nobody thinks about ponchos until it's pouring rain and they're soaked, freezing, and completely miserable in the middle of a blackout. But here's the terrifying reality. Hypothermia doesn't just happen in the wilderness. It can strike right in your own living room if the power's out, temperatures drop, and you're sitting there in wet clothes with no way to dry off or warm up. Emergency ponchos from the dollar store look flimsy and disposable, but don't let that fool you. These thin sheets of waterproof plastic act as personal microclimates, trapping your body heat while shielding you from wind and rain. A poncho weighs almost nothing, folds down to fit in your pocket, and yet it can genuinely save your life. Studies show that a soaked body loses heat 25 times faster than a dry one. 25 times! That means even in 50 to 60 degree weather, which doesn't feel that cold normally, hypothermia becomes a legitimate risk if you're wet. Imagine dealing with that while you're already stressed about having no power, no heat, and no hot water. The fear and panic compound fast. Ponchos can also serve multiple other purposes beyond just keeping you dry. You can cut them open and use them as makeshift tarps for covering supplies. You can line the floor of a tent or sleeping area. You can even funnel rainwater into containers for drinking or washing. Some experienced preppers have used ponchos as improvised stretchers, spreading one out and using it to drag injured family members short distances when carrying them is impossible. A single poncho at the dollar store costs less than your morning coffee, but provides a critical layer of survival insurance that could save your life during a storm-driven blackout. Now, before we get to the top 2 items, I want to share something with you that's helped me and my family build real food security. Because look, buying smart at the dollar store is great for immediate blackout needs, but long-term preparedness requires a solid food foundation. And I know how overwhelming that can feel. Back when I started prepping in 2012, I wasted so much money buying the wrong things, storing food incorrectly, and basically learning everything the hard way. I don't want you to make those same mistakes, so I put together a completely free guide that walks you through exactly how to turn $50 into a 90-day food supply. Yeah, you heard that right, $50. This isn't some crazy dehydrated meal kit or expensive freeze-dried buckets. This is real food from regular stores that your family will actually eat. The guide includes the exact shopping list with specific brands and prices. 37 essential preparedness items most people never think to stockpile, and number 23 on that list honestly surprised even me when I researched it. You'll also get the simple storage trick that works in any home or apartment, even if you're tight on space like I was when I started. Plus, emergency meals you can make with 0 cooking fuel or electricity, which becomes critical during extended blackouts. There's even a section on the gas station snack mix that works incredibly well for bartering if things get really tough. The whole guide is yours completely free. I'm not selling anything here, I just want to help you build the same kind of food security and peace of mind that's given my family so much confidence over the years. The link is in the description below or in the pinned comment. Just click it, let me know where to send it, and it's yours. All right, let's get back to it. Number 2, rope and twine.
In a blackout, you never think about rope until you desperately need it, and by then, it's way too late. The dollar store sells rolls of nylon rope, cotton twine, and sometimes even paracord-style cordage, all for about $1 each. And every single one of them is worth grabbing immediately, because rope is the absolute backbone of improvisation and adaptation. Think about what you can do with rope during a blackout. You can tie down tarps to keep them from blowing away in storms. You can hang lanterns from ceilings to maximize light coverage. You can create clotheslines to dry wet garments, which is critical for preventing hypothermia. You can rig up pulley systems if you need to lift heavy supplies or lower things from upper floors. You can lash together broken furniture to create makeshift tables, chairs, or shelters. The applications are genuinely endless. Nylon rope in particular can hold up to 100 pounds or more, which is more than enough to secure doors, haul buckets of water, or bundle firewood. During prolonged blackouts, rope becomes your utility belt. You'll find yourself using it every single day for tasks you never anticipated.
And let's talk about safety for a second. In multi-story homes, rope can literally be your emergency escape route if fire breaks out while the power is down. That sounds dramatic, I know, but FEMA reports that house fires spike significantly during blackouts because people resort to candles, propane heaters, or other unsafe heating and lighting methods indoors. A length of sturdy rope secured to a solid anchor point can get you out of a second-story window fast if the stairs are blocked by smoke or flames. Cotton twine might seem less impressive than nylon rope, but it's perfect for dozens of smaller tasks. Bundling kindling for fires, securing food bags against rodents and pests, marking trails in pitch-black conditions by stringing it along walls or fences as a tactile guide, tying off garbage bags, hanging tools within easy reach. The list goes on and on. Here's a historical perspective that puts this in context. Civilizations throughout human history thrived or collapsed based partly on whether they had access to strong cordage. Rope built ships, secured shelters, moved heavy stones, and enabled countless survival tasks that would have been impossible otherwise. For $1, you can have that same fundamental advantage sitting in your blackout kit right now. I keep multiple types: 50 feet of nylon rope for heavy-duty tasks, 100 feet of cotton twine for lighter jobs, and a spool of synthetic cord as backup. Total investment? Maybe $3 or $4, but the capability that gives me is worth exponentially more. Don't overlook rope. It's one of those items you won't fully appreciate until you're in the middle of a crisis and suddenly realize it's solving problems you didn't even know you had.
And now, number 1. Water purification tablets. This is the item that most people completely overlook, and it's the one that could save your life faster than anything else on this list. Here's the reality. During a blackout, especially one caused by storms, flooding, or infrastructure damage, your water supply becomes unreliable fast. Even if water is still coming out of your tap, there's no guarantee it's safe to drink. Water treatment plants require electricity to function. When the power goes out, chlorine levels drop, filtration stops, and contaminants can enter the system. Municipal water advisories during blackouts are incredibly common, and they basically tell you the same thing every time: boil your water before drinking or don't use it at all. But what if you can't boil water? What if you don't have fuel for a stove or a way to start a fire safely indoors? That's where water purification tablets become absolutely critical. Dollar stores often carry small packs of water purification tablets, sometimes labeled for camping or emergency use. These tablets typically contain chlorine dioxide or iodine compounds that kill bacteria, viruses, and parasites in contaminated water within 30 minutes. One tablet can purify a liter of water, making it safe to drink even if it came from a questionable source. The human body can survive 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. 3 days. That's the absolute limit before organ failure starts. During a blackout, if your tap water is compromised and stores are sold out of bottled water, which happens within hours during emergencies, purification tablets become your lifeline. Let me give you some real-world context. After Hurricane Katrina, thousands of people were stranded without clean drinking water for days. Dysentery and waterborne illnesses spread rapidly because people had no way to purify what they found. The same pattern repeated itself after Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, where entire communities went weeks without reliable clean water. Those who had purification methods, whether tablets, filters, or the ability to boil, had a massive survival advantage. Here's my personal approach. I keep 2 packs of purification tablets in my Blackout kit at all times. Each pack contains about 50 tablets, which means I can purify 50 liters of water. That's roughly 13 gallons. For a family of 4, that's enough drinking water for 3 to 4 days if rationed carefully. And here's the beautiful part. Water purification tablets weigh almost nothing, take up minimal space, and they last for years if stored properly in a cool, dry place. For $2, you get the ability to turn sketchy, potentially dangerous water into safe, drinkable water that won't make you sick.
Some people might argue that boiling water is free and just as effective, and they're right, if you have fuel and a safe way to do it. But during a blackout, especially in urban areas or apartments, starting fires indoors is dangerous and often impossible. Purification tablets give you a method that works anywhere, anytime, with 0 fire risk and 0 fuel required. You just drop the tablet in, wait 30 minutes, and drink. It's that simple. Now, do purification tablets make water taste amazing? No, they usually leave a slight chemical taste that some people find unpleasant, but here's the thing. During a real emergency, when you're thirsty, and your options are either drink chemically treated water or risk severe illness from contaminated water, that taste becomes irrelevant real fast. You'll be grateful for every drop. I cannot stress enough how critical clean water is during any survival situation, and especially during blackouts when infrastructure fails. Food, you can ration. Shelter, you can improvise. But water is non-negotiable. Your body needs it to regulate temperature, digest food, remove waste, and maintain basic cellular function. Without it, you die. Period. So when I rank water purification tablets as the #1 dollar store survival item for blackouts, I'm not exaggerating. This is the item that keeps you alive when everything else fails. Get them now, stash them in your kit, and pray you never need them. But if you do, you'll thank yourself 1,000 times over for spending $2 on something that saves your life. So there you have it. 11 blackout survival essentials you can grab right now at the dollar store for pocket change. Let's do a quick recap because this stuff matters. Batteries to power your essential devices, a manual can opener so you can actually access your food, aluminum foil for cooking, signaling, and heat reflection, lighters and matches to create fire for warmth and cooking, glow sticks for safe, non-flammable light, flashlights for navigation and security, duct tape for repairs and improvisation, plastic tarps for shelter and water collection, emergency ponchos to prevent hypothermia, rope and twine for countless survival tasks, and water purification tablets to keep you alive when clean water becomes scarce. 11 items, maybe $15 to $20 total. That's less than a single meal at a restaurant, and it could mean the difference between struggling in the dark and managing a blackout with confidence and control. The key here isn't spending a fortune on expensive tactical gear. It's about knowing what actually works and being smart enough to grab it before everyone else panics. Because here's the pattern I've seen again and again over the past 13 years of prepping. When a storm is coming or a blackout hits, people flood the stores in a panic. They grab whatever's left, which usually isn't much, they overpay for inferior products, and they miss the simple, cheap essentials that would have actually helped them. Don't be that person. Take action today while the shelves are stocked and the prices are low. And look, if you haven't grabbed that free food security guide I mentioned earlier, now's the time. The link is right below this video in the description or in the pinned comment. It's completely free. No catch, no credit card, just proven strategies for building real food security on a tight budget. The same strategies I use to go from zero preparedness to 3 months of food storage in a tiny apartment. You'll get the exact $50 shopping list, the 37 essential items most people forget, storage strategies that actually work in real homes, and emergency meal ideas that require 0 cooking fuel. All yours for free. Just let me know where to send it. Alright, if this video helped you, do me a favor. Hit that like button so more people can find this information. Leave a comment below and let me know which item surprised you most or what you're adding to your blackout kit first. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I'm putting out practical prepping content every single week. No hype, no fear-mongering, just real strategies that work for real people.
Remember, preparedness isn't about living in fear. It's about living with confidence, knowing that when things go wrong, and they will eventually, you'll be ready. Stay calm, stay steady, and I'll see you in the next one.